Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
We the real Hebrew Israelites. Before we get started, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto
YAHWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, Hawad.
double honors to the apostles and the elders of great Millstone, who still want to teach well, peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect. Alright, scattered throughout the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing His word in humility and sincerity as commanded by YAHWAH. Title of this lesson is another land grab. Okay, another land grab. Okay, Leos, can you get the definition of land grab, because that's what Esau is doing right now on a global scale, underhandedly. You know what I'm saying? He's using biochemical spills because they have laws. I believe it's the WEF or the United States government. They have laws where if the land is contaminated, then the government can take over that land in order to cleanse it. But after they take it over, it's not going back to the previous owners, you know, meaning the citizens. You know, so Esau is using the train derailments. He's using fires. Okay, these wildfires. You've seen what happened in Maui. A couple of years ago, you had Paradise, California. You know, saw that. That was another instance where he used to do. And now you got a big fire in British Columbia. I just seen it on Twitter. A big wildfire in British Columbia, and it's mainly like these homes, these big homes. Because Esau is moving people out of strategic areas to build the 15-minute cities, you know, to build his infrastructure for his NWO, man.
That's all. It's 2 Corinthians 2:11 that Satan shall get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. All right, and that Satan is talking about Satan's physical counterpart in Esau Edom. We're not in the darkness of his evil purposes, man. All right, and the brother just gave you a list of reasons why Esau is doing these things, man, in order to ultimately fulfill his agenda.
Well, yeah, and the scripture say he cut the field.
Right. Yeah, I got that.
Right. Because there's certain minerals, like the brother, the corn was mentioning, it may be a strategic point, you know, when you want to, you know, set some shit up, but yeah, he covered lands, like the scripture say, and take it by violence. So this time he take it by deception, because that's what this devil, he a deceiver. So he used deception, like with this, the situation that the brother mentioned with the fire and Molly. He ain't gonna take it by violence because he don't want people to know that he's a bloody man, or he's the real devil that the Bible speaks of. You see? And when you cover this or something, that's against the law.
And that actually is by violence, because this devil started an actual fire.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, like
physically with the army, military.
Yeah. You had something?
Yep, in Micah chapter 2 and verse, I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity, work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand."
All right. Yeah, because the scripture says that the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. So, you know, the scripture says Esau, he pretty much worked evil upon his bed. You know, this devil can be literally at the house at night and come up with some wicked thought, man, on how he want to conquer a whole country. And then when he wake up in the morning, he could put the power into play.
Yep. You see? And when you cover this, like I said, that's against the law. You see? You hear me? When you go into the 10 Commandments, what is that? Exodus what? 20. Exodus 20. You see? Scripture says, thou shalt not be covetous, paraphrase. You see? When you cover this, you want something that somebody else got. The Heavenly Father already gave you devils a plot of land. Right? You see? You want that? Huh? You want that? If you want to get it out, you got it.
Exodus 20, the main point is 17. It says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Right. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's."
If you want to get the word covet,
I get it.
What?
Trying to look somewhere. This Exodus, again, 20 and 17, because the brother brought it out, you know what I'm saying, about not coveting lands. Right. And I think of that account with Jezebel. Remember? With Jezebel.
Because her husband,
he
wanted the land.
What was his name? I forget.
Ahab, was it?
That account with Jezebel and stuff.
Was it Ahab?
Yeah. It was Jezebel, but I forget the man's name who land she wanted.
And she,
I don't know.
She was pretty much asking the king, why is that countenance, you know what I'm saying, low?
That's the spirit you said that. I don't know if you already said it, but I was thinking about Oprah when I heard the story about Maui and what Oprah did to cover that land, because that's what they're saying is Oprah invested so many millions in Maui past couple years, and she wanted to expand her thing to 1,000 acres, and so pretty much, you know, she with the elites and all that, they backing her or whatever. She with their agenda. I thought about the story of Jezebel, because this bitch Oprah, you know what I'm saying? She wanted that land. She was willing to do whatever to get it. They burned the people alive, man.
Hey, I was thinking about even with Bill Cosby, how was dealing with those charges, how he put all that. He bought that property, I believe it was in Wyoming or in Montana. But on that property that he purchased, it had a lot of oil on it, and Esau wanted that. So what they do? Go to the extreme of, just so they can be able to confiscate it, man.
They just put out a new movie. It got the Gadites in it, and it's got a long title, but search like new Indian movie or whatever. But pretty much it's going into how Esau was marrying into these Gadite families because the reservation that they had land, it was oil on the land, and so Esau started to marry into their family. It was based on a true story. Started to marry into their families. Once they got in the family,
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yep, that's it. Killers of the Flower Moon. And then once they got in the family, they started to kill off the Gadites to get power over the family wealth.
Well, that's what they did during the Maccabees. Because that's where you got the Hasmonean dynasty. And I believe that one of them devils, I forget who it was in particular, but he married into their family.
It was Hawad the Great.
Okay, the Hawad. See, the brother, like the brother YAHWASHI said, Hawad the Great. So and these different characteristics, that's how you able to identify this devil, man. This is because this devil covered it. Oh, yep.
I feel like it's Hamad, right? It says to desire, covet, to take pleasure in or delight in. It says delectable thing, to desire, says to desire, to covet. And they actually mentioned Mike in the second chapter. That's about it. Don't say too much in that.
So yeah, right. So you desiring something that somebody else got. Like I said just a minute ago, the Lord already gave you a pot of land. You got something? Yeah.
Etymology dictionary says to desire or wish for inordinately or without regard for the rights of others.
You want it so bad, you willing to do anything.
Yeah, that's right. You don't care who you hurt, who you kissing your way, who you gotta move out the way.
Right.
The hammer. That's why they call him Esau the Hammer.
It was a U.S. Army general or Attorney General or somebody, and he was talking to somebody else. I can't remember the details of these interviews, but he was saying, we're the U.S. military, when you're a hammer, you look at every problem like a nail. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Every problem to them is a nail. So mean what? They gonna squash you. It says Micah 2 verse.
That's that Revelation 6:4. Like I said, he was given a great sword. They should take peace from the earth. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
It's Micah 2 1 and 2. Whoa.
Did you finish that scripture?
Which one? The Exodus 20?
Yeah,
I finished it.
Oh,
This was mainly verse 17.
Okay,
Going to the word covet.
Right.
But I did think, because brother brought that out, I believe.
Oh, you already read this?
I believe brother brought that. Did you
Nah,
read that?
No,
he ain't finished.
Oh, okay, my bad. But it was another precept coming out. Go ahead.
This Micah 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
So Esau can literally,
Go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say Esau can literally think of something that he want, or think of a land that he wanna put under his authority, and he could go in as soon as he wake up in the morning, he can start planning it and putting it into action.
He saw it countless times with these different nations that he overturned. He tried to do it with Saddam Hussein, Afghanistan,
Australia,
Panama, especially with Panama, when you go into the Panama deception. That was real.
Is that Noriega?
Yeah. Noriega, that's who it was, if I ain't mistaken. He was some type of general or something, I forget, like a captain in the army or some shit.
Gaddafi, he tried to do it. He put puppets in it. You mentioned Maduro and what's that, Brazil?
he tried to do North Korea like that. Kim Jong-un, he still had the nuclear test sites.
And they was talking about Ghana or Nigeria, one of them, I think it's Nigeria, because Nigeria passed a law today with the most stuff. And they said that the previous president of Nigeria, he looked like Edomite, upon first he looked like an Edomite, but you could tell he was a plant, because that's what Esau do. He put his people in there, you know what I'm saying, so he could forward his agenda in your land. But anyway,
let me see, Salaki, because when you read it in the GMTA, it's even better, right? It said Micah 2:1, how terrible it will be for those who lie awake and plan evil. That's what you Edomites do.
Yeah, because the scripture say they sleep not.
Yeah. Like, ooh, yeah, that's Proverbs, what's that, Proverbs the 4th chapter? You see? So it says, how terrible it will be for those who lie awake and plan evil. So we were talking about that today at camp, you know what I'm saying? Because it's war being waged upon humanity as we speak, you see? But it says when morning comes, as soon as they have the chance, they do the evil they plan.
Damn.
You see?
Right. Hey, Baba Shah, can you look up the Mali? You read the definition of land grab. First, I'm gonna read Micah 2:2, then we can read the definition of land grab. But can you search the Maui project? This is Micah 2:2. It says, "And they cover fields and take them by violence."
And how did they take them by violence? By their military. All right, and this nigga Henry Kissinger always bring this quote out. The brother got me hip to it. It says, "Military men are dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns for foreign policy." So pretty much, America uses their military to pretty much feed their greed. You know,
and you can look up. If you want to know the mind of the Edomite, just look up more quotes from Henry Kissinger, man, because he got a lot of quotes. You know what I'm saying?
Look what they say though, because it was written in the GNTA. Right. It go hand in hand with what you said about with the contaminated land, which we talked about earlier, right? Hear what it say, right? Micah 2:2 in the GNT. It said, when they want fields, they seize them. You feel me? It says, look up the word seize for me at the Bible shot. It says, when they want houses, they take them. No one's family or property is safe.
Damn.
You see, because that's the spirit, though. The earth is giving it to the hands of the wicked, man.
I got that.
But he said, no one's family or property is safe, right? Because you are under the authority of this devil. He really rule over you. They rule in secrecy. They kings. At least that's the type of mind frame that they have. You feel me? They have a ruler class mentality. So they know that you people, they look at you, boy. You see? What's that dude's name? He was what's his name? Jordan Maxwell. I think that's his name. He was talking about a allodial title. Remember I was telling brothers about that? The allodial title and shit like that?
That's true ownership, essentially.
Essentially, but you got it out.
Genesis 27:38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live. So he got the best land masses, and he taken a lot of it by the sword. You see? Which he perfected his blessing, that sword, from a literal sword to what you have today. And he trusts in it. Look at the guys like Hickok 45, the different gun-toting patriots that believe in their Second Amendment rights and whatnot, man. You know? They went around conquering the world. That's why they still look up to Alexander the Great, the Greek. You know, they really hold him in high esteem.
Cristobal Colon, they gave him his own damn holiday.
Yeah, now they trying to take it away though, because the truth coming out.
Yeah, but they really highly esteem certain individuals that went about, you know what I'm saying, with that mindset, conquering with the sword. All right, taking people's land mass, even taking, you know, the this land that we own today from the Northern Kingdom, man.
You know, I was thinking about Andrew Jackson.
Right.
And you had the Indian Removal Act.
Right.
Then you had the Indian land grab. Can you read the land grab real quick and then you got it?
This is the Google definition of land grab. It says an act of seizing land in an opportunistic or unlawful manner.
See, the act of seizing land in an opportunistic or lawful manner.
Yeah, meaning, it's an opportunity. That's what, because that's, and then when you look at the characteristic of a rat, that's what they say about a rat. You know what I'm saying? They opportunists. They see an opportunity and they can benefit.
Opportunities too. That's why they call it a woman.
Right.
I got that word for you.
Hood rat.
Seize.
They call them a hood rat. Yeah,
That word seize. It says to take hold of subtly and forcefully.
forcefully.
To take eagerly and decisively.
Yeah, because like I say, it said opportunistically because it tell you in Isaiah 10, woe unto you that scribe unrighteous decrees which you have prescribed. See, because Esau, he has laws pre-written on the books, so that when certain situations arise, he can take the opportunity to act upon where the law is already there.
Paper and then justify.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Under the code 6734.
That's the law. You know, contaminated land can be seized by the United States government under this such and such law.
And that's why Esau.
Then he blew up a train.
And that's why Esau. The media is powerful. That's one of Esau's weapons because he uses that media to pretty much further his agenda. He uses it to pretty much so he can get approval. Oh, this is why I'm doing this and control the narrative.
If that was Habakkuk 2 and 5, it says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, you know, that wine represents philosophy, but as we going into, Esau manipulate laws. So he can do what? Take advantage of opportunity as a rise through loopholes.
Let our strength be the law of justice.
Since he is a proud man, you need to keep it at home. You know, countless examples how he looking for other land, looking for resources and ways to infiltrate them and push out these doctrines and philosophies from the Jeremiah 51, him being that golden cup.
If I could say, if he was able to go to other planets, he would. And would destroy those in the process too.
Yeah. It says, who enlarges his desire in hell, right? Because the hell is either death or the grave, or a low condition. And the grave is never filled, just like Esau will never be satisfied. Yeah.
And this devil, he literally, you know, he invades like countries, and then he puts democracy there, and then he set up U.S. embassies. U.S. embassies, and now which is U.S. embassy is something like a mini White House. You know, so he's a damn devil, man. But go ahead, bro.
It's like at your word quick, they were showing that on The Simpsons where Bart was like, "Oh, this really considered U.S. land?" He's like, "In America, out America." It's hopping back and forth. But either it could be an embassy on the whole side of the planet. As soon as you touch forth on that, you technically on American soil. But it says he is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people.
Hey, and the scriptures say what? That the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy, man. You know, but you got it, bro, on the rest of that.
I was pretty much it. Let's read the next verse.
No, I had something real quick. This Psalms 37 and 35, I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. And that wicked is talking about Esau, man. All right? And what he does is he spreads himself, he forcefully spreads himself throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Level of wickedness.
And going back to the word seize, it says take possession of land, goods, etc. by force or authority. So, hey, because when they about to take possession of your house, like the bank or something like that, say for instance, it's an eviction process, you go through that process and you lose the eviction where you got to move all your shit out, you know where they're going to come to sit there? They're going to send the sheriff there, the bailiff there. You see, with guns, they send niggas to, so that's what they're essentially doing.
That shit crazy, y'all.
Sending niggas with guns to your house, telling you, look, get the fuck out of here. It said take possession by authority. You said, who? By what authority you doing this? Why the government? I got this warrant. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I was at my friend's house and I didn't know they was going through. They had already went to court. This was a minute ago. So we was just sitting there, you know, I'm over his house chilling. Next minute I heard boom, 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 boom. Then the key, they opened the door and they just came in grabbing shit. They ain't say nothing. They just got the grabbing shit, taking it outside to the front. So now they in there trying to, they trying to grab stuff to wear, trying to hurry up and get clothes. Bro, they ain't saying nothing. They come right in there, they unhook the TV, carry it outside, they get the, bro. That's crazy. To by force, huh?
Yeah,
I got
by
one.
force or authority, because that's what I'm saying. Usually, especially like dealing with the king, you know what I'm saying? He got the authority to come in here to seize this by authority of the king. The king giving, that's how it usually in the context of like, you know, ancient times, the biblical times,
Right.
is a king.
And it goes to show, because Esau been doing this for a minute. You know, like you said, ancient times. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11, and verse 12. It says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. You know what I mean? Just going to show, even in the ancient time, with Brown Time, YAHWASHI was prophesying, Esau was doing the same thing. You know, taking shit, you know, taking lands, you know, just being covetous, man.
They were taking on people too.
Taking them into the armies, into captivity.
Yeah,
Like that's the kingdom of heaven right there. And suffered violence in that verse talking about Israel. So it was right, taking their houses and their lands by force, even during time of like the Roman Jewish war. You see that mentioned in Josephus or any other time when they invaded Jerusalem and burnt down and besieged the city. You see that they did the same thing. You see, take it by force. And the ones who are, what is it enforcer? When you're dealing with gangs, and they say, which they say the LA, the sheriff's department is the biggest gang in Los Angeles. You know, so dealing with gangs, you got different positions or ranks, if you will, and you got something known as what? An enforcer. Mm-hmm. So who for enforcing this shit? You see? Right, perfectly. Law enforcement. Nigga, I'm enforcing this law. I got the authority of the king. You got, like the brother was giving an example. Yeah, they ain't even saying that. And they got a gun, and they wish you would. Right. But they gonna, you know?
Look up the Etymology dictionary of the word police officer.
The spirit of things.
Because from my understanding, it'll go back to
policy.
Policy is part of the word police, but it'll go back to pretty much, of course, an overseer during the slave days. But they really were set up to protect corporations. Yeah. Not necessarily individuals to protect and serve corporations, which are businesses of the king, banks.
Yeah, all right. That makes more sense too.
Stores, businesses in general, because they making money off that.
Exactly.
They get tax money off that shit. So yeah, they protecting their interests. Exactly. So niggas ain't just robbing. But real soon they ain't gonna. Well, really, right now, niggas doing the flash mobs and going into Gucci stores and running, stealing all that shit. Thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars
of jewelry,
of merchandise. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this bitch turning into the Wild Wild West.
Can I finish this back?
Got it.
Finish this back. Genesis 27:40. It says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. All right. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the day of the morning for my father.
Yeah, and that's when the Edomites broke the yoke. Which yoke? Because we had them in a position of servitude at this particular time. So when he broke the yoke, I believe it was like after when King Solomon died. I forget. It's an actual precept that actually say about it when he broke off from under the Israelites. If you can look it up, it give you an exact time after King Solomon died or David. No, it was King Solomon.
I think it was King Jerome.
Second Kings 8:20 and Second Chronicles 21. Read it. 2 Kings 8:20. In his days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah and made a king over themselves. So Joram went over to Zaire, and all the chariots with him, and he rose by night and smote the Edomites which compassed him about, and the captains of the chariots, and the people fled into their tents.
God. So that's just giving you an example of a time period when Esau, because prior to that, they was in servitude. You hear me? Then the Lord put the spirit on them. You see, just like he did during the Renaissance. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Lord took that seed, put a seal on them at one particular time. And he took it off. So,
that's it. Hey, just finishing out, it says, the days of the morning for my father and hand what I said, my brother Jacob.
Right. We still in that slave, my brother Jacob's spirit, man. You know, it says here in 2 Ezra 16, verse 45, and therefore they that labor in vain, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And we know this is going to pretty much the climax of this prophecy here is going to be Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? But this is just on a low level. You know what I'm saying? Of Esau, you know, still fulfilling these things, right? You know, because they said that the day after the fire in Maui, they had a bunch of investors there trying to buy the land the very next day. You know what I'm saying? So this was all set up.
And listen, it's just like Bill Gates just bought all that farmland.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they, I always hear in the comments, like you read the comments and shit, you got these Americans, they be pissed because China owns all this land, China owns U.S. land, Russia owns, they be mad, you know, because you got these foreign countries, they say, it's a saying, America's for sale to the highest bidder, you see?
Yeah, because America's a corporation.
Exactly.
So you can have a stock or a percentage in this corporation. Well, you got something on the Louisiana Purchase. I'm very familiar with that. So they already in this motherfucker. Then you know who owns Canada at the top? That's Britain. You know what I'm saying? That's who owns Canada. That's who run that shit. And you got America, and you got the Louisiana Purchase. That's 800,000 square miles. You see, so
that's how you know this shit is all a farce. It's really what they call the shadow government, the elites and Edom. Because how is China and U.S. beefing, but they don't all this money?
Right, bro, and that's the spirit because, and the reason why it's a corporation. These other countries, they possess the debt of America because they got the what you call that shit with the dollars and I forget.
Talking about China's currency.
No.
Yeah, so.
No, go ahead, y'all.
So if I may say, I was just gonna make a statement that you was talking about, like who basically Canada, like it's I think a saying or whatnot, but they say I know it was gonna come to America, but is the Queen's face still on the money in Canada? Because
it is.
So that shows you because they say like whoever
Faces on the
the
money.
ruler, whoever faces on the currency is the ruler.
It's on the new silver ounce coins that they be minting, the new ones that they coming fresh out the mint. Her face on that mug.
So therefore, letting you know who really owns that shit.
Yeah.
Okay. There's speculation about in 1927 an old news article that pretty much headlines billionaires buying U.S. for millionaires.
Yeah.
And it says the future of nation in yet wealthier hands with John D. Rockefeller's picture on the front. You see, so ultimately, pursuing the Job 9 and 24, the earth given to the hands of the wicked, they're the ones that's in control. All right, but they're also the ones that got the earth in the condition that it's in. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because you got French companies there, you got Chinese companies. You see what I'm saying? You got all these other nations. They got some type of stake in this country, man.
That's why Revelation 18 talking about how they gonna, mourn because they're not gonna be able to make no more money anymore.
Right. The Ishmaelites, the Moabites, the Hamites, all the heathens, bro. They got a piece in this shit because that's how they all getting rich.
The scriptures and secularism call them partakers.
Right.
Until they get so much of something to where it trigger Esau to look at them to actually, take something from them.
Well, and then the thing about it, they always was having their own shit going on, though, even when Esau was ruling. Like, even with the Romans, you had Hamites and shit still having their society, and Moabites, and these different, Ishmaelites as well. So, but,
I have one. This is more so going into, Esau being coveted. This is Job. All right, Job 24, I'll start at 14, 20 covers it down. He said, the murderer rising with the light kills the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. Going back to that being opportunistic, like, it's better to hit a lick at night when nobody can see you, and that's what Esau do. Whether it's a group of people, like we mentioned in Habakkuk 2 and 5, a plot of land, or even just a wicked device he want to pass through his laws.
Right. What do light represent? People being asleep. Right? These people are asleep.
I wanted to play this real quick for Brother Willis. This is Osama bin Laden speaking. Now listen to this. This is something that this is going into pretty much how
the US today has set a double standard, calling whoever goes against its injustice a terrorist. It wants to occupy our countries, steal our resources, impose agents on us to rule us, and then wants us to agree to all this. If we refuse to do so, it says we are terrorists.
but this is the same man that they demonized on national television and said how he was a threat to the U.S. But he just pretty much broke it down to you. They want to steal the resources, man.
And then you got you dumb, stupid idiots, you people that go with this shit, and y'all, because people, they're emotional. You see, they'll just be going off your fucking emotions. Y'all ain't dealing with the logic of the situation.
And they got a herd mentality.
Right.
You know, what he said, the funny thing about what he said, see, like you said, he exposing them, but at the same time, he's a control opposition. Because it's a known fact that he was a part of the CIA, man. You see, but then he was a double agent. You got it, man.
It always be like that.
Right.
Job 24:15 says the eye also the adulterer.
Because that's another thing about Esau. He don't just put anybody on the stage. You know what I'm saying? He got whoever's on stage, he want him on stage. You got it, though.
That's right. Verse 15, it says, the eye also the adulterer waited for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguised his face.
Is that where they sit? Where he said they marked their houses?
That's the point I was getting to.
Okay, that's like
no, you good. Is that, you know, we was talking about that earlier in the line, like how Esau is a fugitive and a vagabond. What you got to do when you want to run in that type of situation, you got to keep your identity a secret.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? You doing all this shit and hiding under these different guys, these nationalities, and pushing blame on other countries, whatever you got to do. Yeah. But ultimately, this is the agenda from the elites trickling on down.
Yeah, whatever you got to do to keep the attention off of you.
Right.
It's like, it's basically witchcraft. Because it's like sleight of hand. It's basically like that's exactly what it is and dealing with that shit, bro.
In verse 16, the point the brother that Paul mentioned says, in the dark they dig through houses.
Then you got people thinking it's Russians, Ukrainians, Europeans, everybody the same color. They all got the same blood though.
Yeah, that's a part of that covenant cast, man. But like you said, because that way, that's why he come with these world organizations. See, because then now he realizes that people is hip to the different country shit. So now we got to come with the world, so that way no responsibility is on one sole country or no blame is on one sole country. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an outside authority acting neutrally, so to speak. You know? Yeah.
But in the dark, they dig through houses which they had marked for themselves in the daytime.
Yeah, like
so gentrification. He on TV with his 3-piece suit on, just talking smooth as hell. But then at nighttime, you know, he making his moves, but then he get back up in the morning, throwing his shave his face. You know,
Plotting just.
Like gentrification. What do you think that is? That's them marking them houses.
Right.
We need this neighborhood back. You know what I'm saying? I gotta extend this health line.
Yeah. It's more convenient to stay in the city now.
Right.
You see, because at one point in time, when all the Edomites moved out to the suburbs, and they let the niggas have the city. That's why we got all these rundown houses. The majority of the houses in apartment buildings and complexes and shit that you niggas live in, the Edomites own that shit, bro.
Yeah.
But now they to the point now though, they like, well, hold on. The beach is right. They got boats. They don't want to drive from fucking Breaksville now to get to the lake every weekend. They want to just go to the motherfucking lake right there into Cleveland.
And downtown, you gotta understand that most of every major city in America, downtown, around downtowns are all the projects.
Yeah, because that's what these Edomites built up. The what's it called? Urban developing housing, that shit. They the ones who built them. Go ahead, right?
I was just gonna say, since y'all was making mention of his brother made mention on like Rockefeller and all that shit, and it's funny where we preaching that because you know if you go through history on Cleveland period, you know like Rockefeller built this big
Man Row.
So he made Millionaire Row, and that's all you. So you know when you go down East Cleveland, which is like y'all said gentrification, but at one point in time that was like the richest city in the whole fucking country. Now look at it. I always think about what was they doing because I mean I done did the history. You know, I'm from EC, so therefore, like literally, they only stayed there for 1 year. He built that big ass land, all that shit. What did you do spiritually that place looked like that now? You gotta question that shit. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck did you do? What was y'all in 1 year? Like, y'all probably sat doing all kind of weird shit. It's all kind of weird pictures. Like that shit look like a village or like it just looked weird. You know what I mean? It looked like they was doing some weird ass shit out there.
Yeah, them houses, like you said, they look like haunted houses. Even when they.
But there's matches at one point in time.
Yeah, that was the problem in the neighborhood. They was probably doing a lot of witchcraft.
Right. That's the point.
You know
what I'm saying? My grandma, her daycare was right there on Euclid Avenue. I used to go to the daycare right there.
Right.
You know, but I ain't never used to really like that building though. But
yeah, because that's what these Edomites, because the places have a history. You see? And now, like I said, they give it to all you niggas to live in that shit, man.
Cause they tired of it,
then now, like the point you was making, to lock, now they cut you off with the gentrification. Right. So now it's more convenient. Like now we gotta get to the city. So now they build. Why do you think they building the city up now?
Right, 15-minute city.
I don't even talking about that's right, like the brother said. Right, who gonna be in the 15-minute city? The Edomites. You niggas, y'all gonna go out of the suburbs,
right?
And stay in the woods, nigga. You know, right? That's exactly. That's what they want it to be. Right. It's always the city. It's always the utopia. That's the place to be. The city, especially in a normal society. You see what I'm saying? This is okay. You need to be in the city.
Yeah, Esau, you pushing this ultra technological society now. You know, when you're dealing with transhumanism, it only works unless you own the grid. The grid is mainly in the city. That's why he's persuading these people's minds to want to be back in the city now. On top of he's confiscating the farmlands. He's telling the farmers he buying the farmland and shit. So they got it, but where else they gonna go? They ain't gonna stay in the country where they gotta drive an hour to Walmart.
That's why they said you don't own nothing.
We have to come. Let me finish this. Micah 2:2, and they covered fields and take them by violence. And that violence could be, like you mentioned, laws. It could be through damn fire.
And the violence, like I said, the violence is the different law enforcement agencies. Like, I'll give you an example, like the Army. You know what I'm saying? What they call the soldiers at the low level? Infantry. Cadets. Yeah, cadets, yep. So, because I was thinking about some, so like, read that.
Micah 2:2, and they covered fields and take them by violence.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. Sloppy. Why about you outside? Like, with the guy, with this field right here. Right. Hey, because really, the field is the earth. That's what the Lord said in the Gospels. He said the field is the world. So he took the world by violence. Yeah, right. Because we know when you go into the history of this place, who was inhabiting this land first. You see? And he took the land. Who he used? The U.S. cavalry. You see? The Gatling gun.
That spirit was talking about that account. It says, and they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. It says, therefore, thus says
right, because they want to oppress you. They want to put you in a particular category, a position where it's difficult to get out. It's only where it's only a small percentage of you gonna make it out that shit. You see, so they want to put you in a position like that. And what position is that? You constantly impoverished. You see, because what poverty lead to? Robbing, killing, stealing. This all a nigga gotta eat. You see what I'm saying? Drug dealing, pimping. They call Tyrone type shit. You know what I'm saying? Pimping, drug dealing, and hoeing. You see?
It says, Micah 2:3 now, it says, therefore thus saith YAHWAH, BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, behold, against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil, man. So the Lord got something for you, man. You know what I'm saying? It says in Isaiah 33, when you cease to deal treacherously, then the nation's going to deal treacherously with you, and the Israelites going to deal treacherously with you, man. You know, so you might as well get your land grab on, set up your infrastructure, or whatever, do what you got to do, man. Because at the end of the day, they say you're not going to remove your necks, man. You know? It remind me of Baruch 4, you're going to tread upon your neck, man. I'm going to have our foot on your neck, and you ain't going to be able to remove it. So Lord, this is edifying. And we're going to praise out and glory to
YAHWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash.
Giving us the spirit to do this lesson. On Yahshua, Shalom,
Shalom.
Water.